little wet, a little dreary, a little snowy, a little rainy, depending on where you are in Oklahoma on this fine Friday. But doesn't matter, because, my friend, you have made it to Friday. But here's a man who deals not only with finite Fridays, but his Senate district is about the size of the Ponderosa. Senator Anthony Sykes, and he's on our Newsmaker line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning from Duncan, Oklahoma. How are you?
I'm doing okay. You guys getting any snow or rain or whatever down there?
Yeah, snow is coming down in big flakes. It's melting when it hits the ground, but it's really coming down out there.
Are you going to be able to get in the 23rd and Lincoln this morning?
Well, we're not in session today. I'll be in the district all day. I'm mainly here in Stevens County, so no, I won't be going to the Capitol, but I will be coming back to the city later today, and based on what I've seen, it doesn't look like I'll have a problem.
Okay. I would avoid 23rd and Lincoln if it were me. That's why I'm not an elected official, sir. Here's the deal. You're a whip, and you're one of the 4 senators who preside over the Senate. You've been right in the heat of battle, some of these things going on. First of all, I know that we kind of talked about budget last week with Todd Lamb. But let's talk about this budget, and because there was a concern about troopers being furloughed in this. Can we avoid that?
Well, as chairman of the Appropriations Subcommittee on Public Safety and Judiciary, DPS is one of the 13 state agencies that reports to the committee, and myself and Chairman Terrell on the other side, Pro Tem Coffey, Majority Leader Lamb, and all of us work very hard to avoid that, and we believe we have with a not only just a infusion of an extra $3 million into DPS, but also to a massive restructuring. I think that's kind of the story that's been lost here in the whole process, is that, yes, furloughs have been avoided, and we all worked very hard to do that, and I want to commend many people, also Commissioner Ward and the governor and the speaker, but there's also a massive restructuring at OHP where you're going to see more troopers back out on the road. We did a top to bottom analysis of their structure and the services that they were providing, and this was all agreed upon with the Troopers Association and with the brass at DPS to put more troopers on the road while at the same time avoiding any furloughs. So I think it's a win-win situation. It
is. And by the way, my friend, Senator Sykes would never say this. He was kind of out for a little bit last week when all this was announced, and he would never blow his own horn like this, but he had a lot to do with that, so we want to thank him, and thank you, Senator, for your hard work for them.
Oh, you bet.
Now, here's the thing. Part of what's going on in the state right now, I know the budget's a big concern, but we've got this. I had a general manager years ago who would wave his hand in front of his face and say, I got this fly that won't go away, and the fly is the problem with the medical examiner's office and all of this going on. Do you have anything to do with that?
Well, that's another agency that reports to the subcommittee, and we have oversight over it. It's something we've been looking at for quite some time, and for years and years, the medical examiner's office functioned just fine. You had a core group of experienced pathologists over there, Dr. Jordan, Dr. Larry Bowling, and they were there for decades and ran a great ship. And what happened was, when Dr. Jordan retired and Dr. Balding passed away, and you had basically a leadership vacuum over there, and we weren't ready for that, and so now the roosters are coming home to crow because we've had an organization that functioned well for years. There really was no transition for new leaders to emerge, and so what you're seeing now are those results. And myself and Senate leadership has been trying to deal with this problem for quite some time. Our main mission, no pun intended, was to stop the bleeding there, and we've done some of that with some personnel adjustments and also some management adjustments. But it's a process that took us a long time to get into the situation. It's going to take us a while to get out. But you've seen the recent call for an audit of their finances. I think that's greatly needed, and ultimately, and I'm carrying a bill, and also Senator Coffey is as well, to do a new facility near the UCO campus, which their facilities are part of the problem. That's one of the reasons they lost their accreditation. But many people are working on this, and our goal is to have a functioning medical examiner's office and turn things around there, and I think we're on the right track to do that.
All right. Senator, I also wanted to ask you, this is kind of a wild card question, but I know, and some of these bills are House bills, I understand that, and you haven't had a chance to look at them yet. We've had some some Department of Corrections concerns, some dealing with women. I know we incarcerate more women per capita than any other state. We've also had one that would wipe a record clean after 10 years if somebody kept his business clean and was on the straight and narrow.
Right.
How are you viewing some of these bills?
Well, we'll certainly consider them. The incarceration of women issue has been kicked around for quite some time, but I can tell you, as a former public defender, I've worked the busiest criminal dockets in this state down at the Oklahoma County Courthouse, and if someone goes to prison, they generally have to earn their way there. Very few first-time offenders go. It's only after they've had oftentimes 2 and 3 chances and been offered treatment that they don't take advantage of their opportunity to stay out of prison that they go. So I think that if the public gets in there and digs and just goes beyond, we're number one in incarceration rate for women, they'll see that we have a lot of programs that are aimed at diverting people from prison. That people, regardless of their education and choices, they'll still make bad choices and can. And I think that's what you're seeing. The other bill that has come through, wiping someone's slate clean after 10 years, we're looking at that. There are also some federal ramifications there, and that with firearms ownership and things like that. So I think maybe we ought to look at something rather than just doing the expungement. If they've truly turned their life around, they ought to apply for a pardon, which we currently have, and maybe we ought to look at those two things together before we just start opening up the floodgates for once after 10 years. It's all saying grace over it.
Yeah, excellent insight. Senator, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you being on. Maybe we can do this again sometime.
Hey, I'd love to. Thanks a lot.
All right, Senator Anthony Sykes, 640 1000 KTOK.